Okay, I want to thank you, Chair, and I want to thank the witnesses. Ryan, I think it's fair to say you and I know each other a long time. We were in UCD together. We were friendly at the time. I know how committed you are to radio. I know even back then you were deeply committed to broadcasting, and I think there is a passion that is there, and I think everybody recognises your talents. And obviously, this is having a big personal impact on you.
Yes, it is.
But I think, you know, it is important for us, and I think for you, that we get the full picture here. It's, as colleagues said, it's not about a witch hunt. This is about getting a full picture.
I understand that.
And I think what is emerging really is around a culture that exists within RT that's going to have to change.
Yes.
So my first question to you is, and it's very simple, do you believe in all of this, that you have done anything wrong?
I think that the only thing I can answer that is in a way that's reasonable and fair is to say that I should have called out the figures when they were released all in one day on January the 20th, 2021. They were wrong. We had requested that they change them before in dispatches, but that day we didn't. So yeah, I'm not without blame in that regard, of course.
Okay, I want to reflect on, and I suppose this is, after RT released its initial statement, both yourself and Mr. Kelly released a first statement on the Thursday, and that was then followed by a second statement on the Friday, which was quite different, which actually acknowledged the problem.
Yeah, I can explain that if you wish. So what happened was we were given approximately 30 minutes warning from RT to say this bomb is about to be let off. And we looked at it and said, well, you can't, because you're putting out all this information, so much of which we can counter and clarify for you. And it was, and we said, maybe, you know, it's saying this report, the Grant Thornton report, saying Ryan Tuberty did nothing wrong and all of this. And we said, you've got to include that. And they said no. They said, we're releasing the statement. And we said, the rush. So our statement, the first one you're referring to, went out saying we can't shed any light because we couldn't. Then that night was an all-nighter. We looked through and everything and said, actually, do you know what? I want to apologise to people because I should have called that out there as soon as I had the chance to, and I did. And then the media mall. Now the media are brilliant. They're my colleagues and some of them are my friends. So I'm not having to go at the media. They're doing the job. I get that. But I'm just saying that there was a mauling of sorts, right, for 3 weeks, and that's why we get to today where we've tried, like we've put this together with the view to be transparent.
Let me come back to the question. Why do you think your salary was understated? I mean, you know, this should be figures. Most people know what their salaries are. You know what your salary is. People in RT. Why do you think those figures were understated?
Again, it was a mistake on RT's part because we'd written to them and said this is wrong, and they sent
Well, no, what happened? Not only that, but we also there was an assumption. We had said before, lads, this.
Well, can I ask?
Sorry, just to finish, very brief. Sorry, Senator. And there was this assumption that here's an organisation that has, you know, a CFO, internal auditors, etc. But not only that, the figures have been externally audited and so on. So you have an assumption, naive as it may be, that they had their reasons.
Who do you think is responsible, therefore, for the incorrect figures being issued?
Without question, RT.
But who in RT?
Oh, that's Noel will tell you. I mean,
who in RT do you believe is responsible for misstating your client's salary figures?
We had done the contract, and again, always in or the main term.
Well, who did you complain to? You said you complained.
The letter to explain to them that you were uncomfortable with the way they were showing.
Because these figures are discussed widely.
The documents in your
page 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the document.
That should clarify that for you.
Essentially made changes to the side letter, etc. So then on the side letter, we asked them to take out all of this because they were trying to offset a payment that you didn't take or invoice. So this is the 120,000. So Ryan never took it, never invoiced for it, and they said they were going to offset it. So it's an accountancy thing. So we go, well, if it's for what I thought is if it's not there, how can it be there? But they were trying to. So that 120 then was offset against 17, 18 and 19 by RTE. We wrote to them, and in it...
And you never received that 120?
No.
So am I correct? Can I just then... So the declared figures that were published at the time, right, were for 2017, 491,667, 2018, 495,000, and 2019, 495,000.
Sure.
Those are the correct total figures that were paid by RTE to Total.
No, so that should have been
So that's 511,
545.
Okay.
So what happened was they had put a figure that we have an invoice taken or given against those figures. So it was an underpayment.
I'm just saying, Mr. Kelly, I appreciate that, but I'm looking at the way a normal person looks at their annual salary.
So am I.
And this is a challenge. And I mean, there is a question that is here that people are looking and they're saying, hang on, we talked about it, everyone talks about the salaries when they're published.
Yeah.
And you knew, even just to take 1 year, 2019, it was declared all over the media, declared before the Oireachtas here, 495,000.
Sure.
Yet you knew that Total as the company was paid 545,000. Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just conscious on time. Ryan, you mentioned that.
So can I just say on that final page there, on page 17, they accepted that it was wrong.
I know, but for us and for the wider public, we didn't know, and this is the problem.
Sure.
Okay, so Ryan, you've said that you're going to, if the gigs don't happen, if the Renault gigs don't happen, you're going to pay the money back.
Yes.
To whom are you going to pay it back?
To Renault or whoever paid it.
Well, Astas paid it. Renault paid the first, and then Astas paid the last two.
So does the cheque or the bank transfer go to pay Astas Limited, or pay Renault, or pay RTE?
Whoever paid it.
So if it's Astas,
so who do you think you're paying it to?
I think the answer is Astas, which to me, as a result of the discoveries in the last week or two, is RTE.
We know now it's RTE.
So it goes back to RTE.
Yes. So it goes
through
back
this bizarre.
Okay, I'm still so we knew, and I want to come to you, Mr. Kelly, and you're a very experienced negotiator. We know this in terms of those who you represent, and I asked the questions, when the executive were in here, as to who was in the room with you, and then you kindly, to some of our colleagues earlier today, outlined who you had been dealing with. Mm-hmm. One of the key people who very clearly knew about some of the deals was Jim Jennings. So is it fair to say that Jim Jennings would have been the individual who pulled the deal together with RTE, or with Renault? Sorry.
No, the commercial would have been done initially with the lawyers when we were informed that they wanted to do it, and then it's handed over to commercial.
I appreciate that the lawyers would have done it, but lawyers don't go out and sort of cut the deal. Lawyers are the ones who'll sign up the deal.
Got this email on the 10th of March 2020.
Page number
page number 14. Sorry.
14 you're talking.
I attach for your attention the draft contract the two-side letters discussed and agreed in relation to this matter. The sponsorship agreement will be handled by our commercial team and will be agreed separately to these documents.
So you were negotiating at the time of the 2020 contract?
Yes.
Okay. And at the time, everyone in RTE was accepting, that there were going to be cuts.
Sure.
And we know how difficult a situation
sure.
that it was. What you're asking us to believe is that, Ryan could go off and he could negotiate his book deal, or he could negotiate his documentary separately as a contractor. But in this instance, what you're saying to us is, while all of these salary cuts were happening in RTE, somebody in RTE just came to you and said, Noel, listen, we're going to offer a deal now with Renault. Here's the deal. Who was it that sort of said, we're going to sort this out with Renault?
Well, the initial email came from from Breed O'Keefe, because again.
So was it Breed that struck the deal?
The deal with Renault and RTE is completely between them.
I appreciate it, no, but you knew who this deal was on behalf of.
Sure, Renault and RTE.
Yeah. So it was RTE was coming, to Ryan. Ryan was facing a pay cut. Why, for instance, did you not go off and...
Sorry, no, it wasn't that Ryan was facing a pay cut. Ryan had given back 525,000. Not that he was facing a pay cut, he'd actually given back.
Oh, okay, but no.
525,000, and he didn't take the 120,000. So it wasn't about pay cuts. This is a separate commercial arrangement.
Okay, but why would you not have gone and negotiated directly with Renault?
Because we've no relationship with Renault. The relationship with the sponsor and RTE is like. That's their relationship. That's nothing to do with us. We have nothing to do with it, and it's minded obviously because it's such.
Did you not find it odd that we were in this period, and colleagues have already talked about it? You know, coming into COVID, there were pay cuts going on in RTE, and suddenly RTE were able to come with a deal to you and say, "Hey, we can mitigate some of this loss by." You agreeing to go and do these gigs with Renault?
No, they came to us to say that Renault want Ryan to do late show, road shows outside of his radio and TV contract, and I can only assume that it was going to lock in that sponsorship for another 5 years, and they're still sponsoring the show.
Yeah, but at the same time, you made sure, and it was you that made sure that RT underwrote the deal.
Yeah, but underwriting, RT were never going to pay. This is always a Renault deal. That Renault were going to pay for extra services for Ryan. That's what it was. Never for RT.
So it was originally to be a 1-year deal.
No, it was a 5-year deal.
So Renault were going. So your hope was that this was going to be Renault over 5 years.
Well, absolutely.
We're going to keep doing this.
Sure. And why I asked RT to underwrite it was that if there was a change of sponsor, that we could then.
But what if
that's again through RT.
But what if Renault pulled out? Was it always your understanding that if Renault pulled out, it didn't matter? My client was still going to get his sum of money every year.
If Renault pulled out and the new sponsor wasn't right or suitable or wasn't working either parts,
or if there wasn't
the whole thing would just stop then.
Okay, so then why was it that RT are continuing to make payments?
No, Astas paid us, not RTE. Renault paid us the first year, and then Astas paid the next 2 years. Never RTE.
But did you not ask then who are Astas?
RTE instruct us. Honestly, like at this stage, everybody's so wise. We are just working under instruction. It's their relationship. It's a huge contract for them.
Would it never have struck you, if I was getting, €75,000 from a company like Astas, I'd surely ask, who are Astas?
I never asked who are RTE.
But we know who RTE are.
I know, but
we know who Renault are.
But again,
I don't think anybody here knew who Astas were.
Okay, I think I'll have to conclude, Senator Byrne, and we can continue the conversation. I'm sure everybody needs a break. We're going around in circles a little bit. So I'm going to suspend the meeting for 10 minutes.